Hi guys, it's been a while, but I was kind of in the mood to play a game today. It's called Spot the NOLO. So what's a NOLO? You don't know? Let me tell you. A NOLO is something you do not want to be on the lookout for. So maybe it's just too hard to ship, wasn't worth it. Maybe you made like no money on it. Maybe you sat on it for 2 years before you sold it. But it's not something you want to pick up again. So here's my weekend sales. Have a look there. And we're going to see if you can find the NOLOs. Okay, here's a closer look. You can see we've got some 8-track tapes, a baseball card, and here's a couple butter knives, a lot of brass candlesticks, a brass lamp, some clothing items, which I'm an everything seller, but I don't like listing clothes, but guess what happens when I do list clothes? I have 4 clothing items going out. There's this cool pillow though, and an old rusty bird cage, some bookends, a mug, some sconces, this weird looking thing here, a little spoon with advertising on it, a button, a turquoise ring, a light fixture, and some old beads. Oh, there's one more thing. So this lovely beast hasn't made it to the packing station yet, but this vintage TV is also going out. So I'll give you 10 seconds to decide what are the 2 biggest NOLOs. What do you think? Okay, pause for 1 second so I can show you that I got a cute little helper now. Can you see him? Is he facing the wrong way? There he is, look. I've got a little helper now. That's okay. Maybe he can learn a thing or 2. Okay, so I'm only going to pick out 2 NOLOs, and that's because really I'm not selling as many NOLOs anymore. I'm trying to be more careful about what we sell. I do have plenty of NOLOs still. Not that I love to admit it, but today there's just only a couple. So let me see if you guessed right. You might think it's this. And you might be right because I only sold this for $4.50. But this was only listed a week. It was super duper easy to list, and it's going to be super easy to ship. So even though I don't like to sell things under $15, I'm not calling this one of my NOLOs today. Maybe I should. $4.50 is not great, but easy to ship, fast to list, paid nothing for it because it was in a flat of other various items that I bought. This was just like a bonus item. This lamp, however, I'm gonna make more money on this. I sold it for $19.99, which isn't terrible, but I paid $5 for it. It's big, it's kind of heavy, it's gonna be costly to ship, and it sat here for a year and a half before I sold it. So while I'm gonna make more money on this than I am on the spoon, how many of those spoons could I have sold in a year and a half? So I don't know, storage space and sitting on things, they kind of play into whether or not you want to buy something and list it again. So if I was given one of these for free, maybe I'd list it again, but for a year and a half to sit on it, not worth it to me. All right, so you might think maybe this mug might be a NOLO, which I guess it just depends on your criteria for what's a NOLO to you. Sold this for $9.99, only paid 50 cents for it. It did take about 6 months to sell, but 50 cents into $10 minus fees, not very big. Mugs don't scare me to ship, not easy peasy, easy peasy. So I'm saying this is not a NOLO. For the right price, I would sit on again for 50 cents. I'll sit on it for 6 months. Not a huge deal. Not really where I want to be. Not the kind of money I really want to be making. Need to up my game a little bit, but still, I would maybe do this again. What about this pillow? Do you think this is one of them? This is definitely 1970s, but it's kind of cool. It's called Punch Embroidery, and this thing actually sold for $29.99. So I definitely would sell these again. Not the NOLO. Okay. Cute pair of Wisconsins, right? Maybe. I got these, I think $1 for them. Plain wood. Decided I was going to get crafty and paint them and distress them a little bit and then sell them. Well, it took me a long time to get around to doing it. I sold them for $11.99. Not great. And so yeah, that's $11 profit before fees, but I spent too much time. I invested too much time in something with too little profit. So I'm calling these my other NOLO. I would not recommend doing this. Okay. I mean, if you want to do it for fun, you have fun. But I wouldn't recommend it as a way to make money. Okay, so are you wondering about the other things? I think I'll just give you a tour. All right, baseball cards, $10. Easy to list, easy to ship, doesn't take room. So you can sit on these for a while. So not the NOLO. These, actually, even though you can't see them, I'll put a picture here. They only sold for $7, but these butter knives were only listed for like 2 weeks. So flatware can be good if you get a bunch of it. I usually don't like to sell just 2 pieces of it, but I did. This guy's brass candlesticks, if you can find them for cheap, you can get $6 to $7 a piece on them. I sold this lot of, I think there's 20 candlesticks. I sold it for $160. So what is that? That's $8 a piece, isn't it? 20 times 8, $8 a piece on those. And I usually pick them up for $1 or $2 when I find them. Otherwise I pass. But $160 all at once for 20 brass candlesticks. That's a bolo. All right, this weird little lacquered divided bowl. It took a long time to sell. Not super exciting, really, but I did sell it for $25, so that's not terrible. 8 tracks, those sold for $11.50. Didn't pay hardly anything for those. This was a $30 sale. Old light fixtures can be good thing to pick up. These are vintage beads. These aren't on necklaces. These are just strings of beads. I think they call them trade beads. These sold for $25. Pair of jeans, Levi's, those sold for $15. This old bird cage, $60 sale. I told you about the pillow. Told you about the mug. This little bitty button, $8 sale. Kind of like the baseball cards, didn't take much room. Easy to list, easy to ship. Those were $18. And then these overalls, guys, these overalls are ratty. They are ratty. They are stained. They are frayed. They have holes. They sold for $30 in 2 days. This LL Bean jacket, $50. And this case jacket, $20. So there you have it. There's the NOLO game. How'd you do? Did you pick the right things? Would you consider other things to be NOLOs that maybe I should have? Oh, I forgot to talk about that TV that I showed you, that I cut to that wasn't on my station here. So that could be a borderline item, but we paid $1 for it. We sold it for $50. It's not gonna be super fun to pack. but I can do it. I sell big breakables all the time, so that doesn't scare me. But we did sit on it a long time too. It was over a year to sell it. So $1 into 50, yeah, it's gonna take some bubble wrap, but I would do it again probably. So I decided not to call that a NOLO. So what do you think? What would you not have bought again? What would you not list again? What are your NOLOs? I'd love to hear them. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Until then, happy picking.